Hi. Welcome to the Langland Silver Surfers. This little message is to say thanks to all of you who support us and hopefully laugh along with us. Over the last 2.5 years and 138 episodes, a lot has happened. We have lost friends, and also gained some. One thing that joins us all together is our love of our beautiful bay. The bench is getting nearer. Sorry for the delay. We are all looking forward to finally putting it in place for all to enjoy. Why not leave a comment letting us know what you would like us to cover in future episodes?
It's funny you saying I can't work that out at all. I've looked up in YouTube and all this kind of stuff trying to find out. And it's either his computer's getting on a bit and his RAM won't hack it, or his signal is too weak and he has to get a booster for maybe the Wi-Fi. What he should do is try and plug it in an Ethernet, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it would be fairly easy to prove because although in Dave's situation, perhaps it's more difficult, but like if he was to say to somebody, can you do a Zoom call with my computer from your house? Well, I mean, I don't even know. Is he on a desktop, laptop, iPad, or what was he on?
iPad, I think. I'm not sure actually. Might be an iPhone. Computer. I don't know. I don't think it's a computer. I think it's a laptop, perhaps.
Yeah, it looks like it could be a laptop or an iPad, but if it's something that's easily portable, and he could take it to somebody else's house and even ask them to test it on a Zoom with somebody, and then it would prove that whether it was the device or whether it's his signal.
Yeah, sure. Anybody coming in now? Yeah. So, how you been getting on with the Guyla?
With what now?
Your man, what's his name?
Oh, that's Simon.
Yeah.
I've not done anything for a bit now. I thought, well, he said, if I wanted to make an arrangement to meet him, because we're going away now on Thursday for a week. So I told him, asked him really, is it more suitable to him on weekends or weekdays? And I said, I'm available, and I can make myself available, but Wednesdays are pretty difficult for me. But as yet, he hasn't come back. But I mean, he's given an idea of price.
How much?
He said it's going to cost about £1,000 in materials, which is frightening, really, when you think about it.
Right, yeah.
And about £3,000 to make it.
We're in our budget. We're in our budget, then, aren't we?
Yeah. But what I don't know is, I don't know how busy he is, and it would be nice if we could, start to think of maybe August or September.
Before we commit as well to that or something like that, I had to hand it over to Kipper because I got hold of the guy from Wild Boar Caravans. Asked him could I do a Zoom call with him, and he said he's busy at the moment, but here's my telephone number. So he gave me his telephone number. And me calling from France is just not on, it's just going to cost me an arm and a leg. So I asked Kipper if he would phone for me, but he was doing the Johnny K. Beck one and I was doing the Wild Boar. So I asked him if he'd take it over and phone the guy up, and he did, and got in touch with him, and he likes the idea, and he just have to work on a bit of the back side of it or something.
Right.
Again. But on grow, all in all, he likes the idea and he thinks he can do it. No, so, but
Right.
we haven't got any prices or commitments or meeting yet. You know,
Yeah.
so
Because
it's.
that's what we want. I mean, if he's going to come back, hiya.
Oh, you're back. What you?
Yeah.
We changed.
They
Have
are, that's better. Hello, Biscuit.
How
What
you doing?
what you done? Have we changed placement?
Yep.
Yeah.
Uh,
We got in a different way. We'll have to have a chat with you again. Go on.
did he go on Ethernet?
No, we came on the same way, but we put our own passcode in, which you gave us before, and the meeting ID.
All right. Yeah, okay.
You like my spots? Came out in them this morning.
What?
You can get cream for that, Vicky.
These spots, I think I might have chicken pox.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
See if it works down here, does it, Dave? There we are.
Put it down.
Anyway, have a nice
It's going off
meeting.
again. It's going off again.
Is it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's breaking up again.
Oh, there we are. Now you're back, Dave. Great. Oh, that's much better.
Here we are.
Is that all right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems okay.
All right.
Nice to see you all. What a performance, about the bench, isn't it a shame?
Eh?
A performance about the bench, isn't it a shame for you all?
Yeah.
Well, there's no performance at all. We're in fine control here at the moment. It's all being organised.
Is it all right now? Is it? Right.
No, it's not all right now, but it will be. You know, we've come to a few decisions, haven't we? So
Yeah.
now it's just finding someone to make it. And if Amy doesn't want to make it, you know, we decided, okay, we know what we want, and it's open to be worked on by the artist. There we are. But we know what we want, the base.
Yeah.
So,
We just all we want to know, Dave, really is how much is it going to cost? Is that gonna be the installing it as well? And when can it be done by? When can we expect it to be there?
Yeah.
And as long as it's within our budget, and we don't want to mention what our budget is, because if people, we all know how much we've been able to put together.
Yeah.
And if one can build it, if they both come back with roughly the same price and it's within our budget, well then somebody's going to have to choose who we go with.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, that's great. Yeah.
you know, so we've got advanced a lot, actually, you know. Because we've been in touch with the two artists, the two guys, and they seem okay with it. They can do that, you know. Both of them said that, didn't they, Biscuit?
Yeah. Both have said that they, would want to take it on. Well, to be honest, I mean, if that's I don't know if that's whether they make their living or whether it's their hobby, but
It's a living.
I can't see why they wouldn't be interested in it, you know.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's not as if you're asking them to do it for free, is it?
No, exactly. Yeah.
It's a job, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, well, funnily enough, that I got a group on Facebook, and there's a kids charity in Cocket, and she put a message on the other day that she's looking for somebody to change the cistern on a toilet and box some pipes in. But she hasn't said but that she wants the work done for nothing, or whether they're prepared to pay. Well, people, if somebody's prepared to do it for nothing because it's a kids' charity, all well and good. But
Yeah, you don't.
stuff is.
I mean, it's straightforward. It's a job, isn't it?
Yeah, but stuff is so expensive today. It's just crazy, really.
Yeah.
Shocked by a grand for the wood, something like that. Wow.
Yeah.
It just seems absurd, really. Especially when you consider, if you walk around Singleton Park, there's trees that have fallen down 2 years ago, and they just lie in there.
Yeah.
So they're probably naturally seasoned by now.
Yeah. Here, I'll get in there with your chainsaw.
Yeah.
Nip in one night.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Did he still
Yeah.
close the park at night now? Would they have a parky going around closing the park at night?
I don't think they actually physically closed the park as like they used to years ago.
They used to, didn't they? They used to chain it up and everything.
Yeah.
Hey,
'Cause
Sam.
the thing is, with the single and park now, the
Yeah.
students they walk through single and park to get to the university.
Yeah.
So the single and park itself is open 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
They lock the botanical gardens, but the actual park is open all the time.
All right.
Yeah, because it used to be like, it was at 8 o'clock or depending on what time of year it was.
Oh yeah, they blow a whistle, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Blow the whistle and everybody out. If we got
Yeah.
locked in, tough shit.
Yeah. Well, we walked through there today, and there were two boys on. To look at them, you'd think they were scrambling motorbikes, but there was no sound, so they were obviously electric, and they were flipping. I would have said doing at least 40 mile an hour, shooting across the grass, and then they were doing wheel skids on the grass, and I thought, in nowadays, like if you were 300 yards away from a parky and he blew the whistle, he had no chance of catching you. But if he blew the whistle, you'd get off your bike and walk with it.
Yeah.
I can guarantee he'll recognise you, and next week he won't be 300 yards away from you. He'd be hiding behind a tree, and you'd have a smack behind the back of the head.
Yeah, right. A good clip across the head, and that would be it, wouldn't it? But imagine now the poor parky would be up in court, wouldn't he?
Yeah, of course he'd be in prison, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. How are you, Sam?
All right, thanks. Talking about the bikes, a little while ago, I think I was in the quadrant, and not sure if I mentioned it before, and I was walking through the quadrant, and I could see coming down towards me from the Greg's kind of thing, and two guys on bikes, and I could see two of the stewardy types were by the information counter for the buses, and they sort of spotted them, and as they came towards them, one of them shouted to the boys, "Off your bikes now, boys," and one of them sort of slowed down and stopped. The other one pulled a wheelie, stuck the finger up, and just rolled straight past him. It's I think it's in certain channels it gets inbred at a younger age.
Yeah.
And they must get it from either older brothers and fathers or something.
Get it from
friends, peer pressure, yeah, this is what you do. So whereas we would feel we were being really naughty if we did something like taking some bottles from somewhere, and then you took them back to get the money back on them, and you think
Yeah.
But the thing was, Sam, it sounds really bad, doesn't it? In our day,
yeah,
actions like that had consequences.
Yeah.
Like you get caught and you had a bloody good not hammering, but a good slapping.
And your parents got to know about it, and you really felt.
Then you get one off them as well.
Yeah.
And then you'd have no pocket money, perhaps for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on how bad you were. And he'd be in at night,
Yeah.
But these days, oh, poor Johnny, he can't. He's just robbed a bank. No, not our Johnny. No. Well, if he
did, lovely guy, yeah.
If he did that, he must have had a reason. Oh, poor boy, we have to give him some help, I mean, good God, man, give him a bloody good slapping, and that'll fucking, people say it, right? We are the generation who grew up with no war. We are the generation that grew up with basically doing what we wanted to do. But even then, we had more freedom then than they have now. But even then, with all that freedom, we respect the people around us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think it comes.
that way we could get away with much more.
And a lot
Yeah.
of it is you get a bunch of youngsters, and I mean, you get one or two influential types who actually are the kind of seen as the they're they raised up on a platform because they've gotten away with this and gotten away with that, and then that filters through until you get. I was going down through Mumbles or maybe Black West Cross the other day, and there's traffic coming up to the pedestrian crossing, and the pedestrian crossing is on stop, so the cars stop, and then coming towards me is a bunch of like scrambler bike kind of things, and they all overtook the cars on the zigzags, 3 or 4 of them in a row. I mean, and my reflexes weren't quick enough to sort of wind the window down and say, "Hey guys, you're not supposed to overtake on a zigzag." They have no kind of they never either never heard of it, or it didn't come up in their test, or they haven't got to their test yet, and they kind of, who gives a toss? My mate's just done it, so I'm just following him.
Yeah.
No, they really have no respect. That's all it is, basically. They
There
don't
isn't any respect
don't respect
anymore.
themselves, so how can they respect anybody else?
Yeah.
That's a problem. That's a big problem with the generation now,
Yeah. Do you know
My
John
daughter's
Baglow,
30 and she
son?
can see it, and
What?
Do you know John Baglow?
I think so. Yeah. Known as
Mumbles boy.
Johnny
Mumbles-
Baglow. Yeah.
Mumbles boy. He lives
Yeah. I think I
he lives
met
in
him
Overland Road, I think.
from school.
Yeah, I think it's that era. And he sent a video today that it's legally accepted in Brazil now to kill motorcyclists. Because literally, he sent a video, right? That apparently there's a big problem in Brazil with motorcyclists holding up people. So could be in late at night, pedestrian walking along the road, one or two people, or a car stopped, and the motorbike will stop and hold a gun to these people,
Yeah.
and they were actually robbing these people, and a car comes from behind them and takes the pair of them out.
And takes the pair of what? The motorcyclists out.
Yeah, they just ran them over,
Bloody hell.
Right.
and you couldn't see if it was a police car. It was an unmarked police car,
Yeah.
and what they showed, one was two I presume blokes on a motorbike. The car was stopped on the side of the road. The motorbike pulled in front of the car. The boy got off the back, went to hold up the bloke that was in the car, and
Yeah.
the bloke had a gun.
In the
And
car.
the bloke in the car had a gun, and
Yeah.
as he went to threaten him, they slowed the film down, and you could count the bullet shots and see the flashes, and he shot him. So he put 6 bullets into him.
The guy in the car shot the guy who come to rob him.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bloody
you
hell.
know, rough justice, I call that
That's
personally.
good justice, that is, I think.
Yeah,
Get
good
rid,
justice. Sorry,
get
yeah,
rid of them, man, just get rid of them.
yeah.
Oh, well, that's the whole thing with the guns, isn't it? I mean, America, it's been run riot for years and years now.
Crazy,
The old
isn't
right to bear arms, and the arms is killing half the
Yeah.
population on a regular basis.
Yeah.
And their answer to it is, that what I can't remember, God knows how many incidents ago, and where somebody walked into a school and shot a load of kids, and the answer was to arm the teachers.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? But add
Absolutely.
more guns to it. Yeah.
Not
Yeah.
make it harder to purchase a gun in the first place.
No, make them more accessible so that teachers, imagine, you teach it alongside their blackboard duster, they got a flipping
Automatic.
an automatic rifle.
Magnum 44.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, yeah.
Go on,
Yeah.
make my day.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, it's awful. Whatever. So I take it Michael must be wearing his crown in the castle, is he?
He must
Yeah,
be involved with the
Yeah.
castle.
he's crowning it tonight, yeah, with Margaret.
I saw he put a post up earlier with a picture of the castle and a fair amount of people around it, and he said, "It's heaving up here." And I tempted to put a reply saying, "Oh, has somebody been sick?" You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought I'd save that for tonight, but obviously he's still busy doing his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed Newton Road was closed from, I think, about, I don't know what time, midday onwards. But as you drive past the bottom of Newton Road, I mean, it affected the traffic on Mumbles Road because I was driving down there 1 o'clock half past, and it was tailbacked to West Cross. Obviously, because nobody can turn up Newton Road to go to Langland, so they were all having to go straight down. And I think the bypass then, the deviation was down to the Duns and up past the library to get back to Langland Road. But it still, and as I glanced up Newton Road, yeah, there was nothing happening down the bottom end, just from odd people walking about. But you can see they contained most of it in front of the Ostream Hall, I think, because there'd have been no point having a street party in Newton Road at the bottom with all the shops. Like street parties where people normally live, isn't it? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, where they get tables and chairs out on the street. And
Mhm.
do you remember when they used to paint the curbs? Oh my God, lay off.
Yeah.
But I can honestly say I haven't seen anything of this royal goings on at all.
Well, actually, even in Swansea, when I drove from Cockett yesterday down through Sketty and up through Ticoch and out to Calais, and I saw a couple of houses with buntings on, but maybe if it was a percentage, it might have been or something like 5% with bunting up on the fronts of their houses. So it's not a it didn't all of a sudden, wow. You know, I've noticed down in Kittle there were a couple of houses, and it's Kim's sister, and they always do decorations at Christmas left over from when they had children in the house. But and she carries on doing it and always makes a good job of it. And I noticed yesterday they had the bunting coming down from the house over the gate and the next door neighbour. You know,
Yeah.
so I think
it's in areas, isn't it? There's lots of it.
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's a guy sitting, right? There's a guy sitting in a golden carriage with 8 million trillion pounds worth of God knows what on his head.
It's more than that.
Yeah, more than that, right? And, you know, he's got so much money, he doesn't know what to do with it. And everybody is clapping him. People who are on the dole, people who haven't got any money, people who can't eat. They're going, yeah, well done, well done. What the fuck is that?
Yeah. Well, I think it's actually they did percentages over the last week or so, and they were thinking about different age groups and who were kind of pro, and there weren't so many kind of anti, but there were ones who weren't particularly interested, and I think it was something like about or maybe 30% were for the monarchy, and then maybe sort of and age groups. So the up until the age of 30, you know, the sort of 15 to 30-year-olds, a very small percentage interested. You know, as it kind of not part of, and it's kind of thin end of the wedge. You can tell by actually the way it's been presented this year. It's all got the pomp and glory of it all, but the inclusivity of it all the people coming from all the other countries, the little rabbi section that were doing and then the choir, the gospel choir in the actual church. It's like trying to be as inclusive as possible. You know, they've obviously had advisors thinking like, if you want to stand a chance of keeping this thing going, you've got to, make it as inclusive as you can.
Yeah.
Just plow all that money into it for nothing to show that you don't really give a fuck anyway. You know? Yeah, you might tell him not a royalist.
Yeah.
Oh, I love
I
having
was
a
just
random
thinking
account.
the cost of all that, of the wages for all the extra, sort of staff, and okay, I suppose all the guardsmen and all that. Well, they get paid for whatever, for just being the guardsman.
Yeah.
Okay, there'd be new uniforms were made. I think there were new uniforms made for the guys riding the horses. There was a program about the company that had the gracious thing to be able to make them all, the red and gold things, all handmade and whatever, just to be used that once or twice. I thought, and the ceremony in the abbey though, I think it was really when he got down to basics, when Charles had to more or less strip off to be anointed to a degree, and they brought out the screens. It's like,
Yeah.
nurse, the screens, So
It's so British.
the screens all nicely embroidered, these lovely sort of screens, all military precision, clamping them together. Although there were gaps, you could see through the gaps. And then he's down to like basically like a nightshirt thing, ceremonial shirt, so that they could anoint him with this oil.
Yeah.
Did you watch it all, Sam?
I watched a bit from when they went into the abbey, and then while they were in there, and then I was doing things while it was on. It was lots of choirs and things, and then when they came out, I went and did something, and then I went down to Jodie's, and I think they'd already come out on the balcony then. I didn't watch it all. But,
I watched a fair bit of it.
Yeah, I
Basically,
watched them, yeah.
yeah, basically because it was raining at the time, and so I couldn't go outside. Probably if it was sunny and dry, I would have probably been outside doing something.
yeah, and I think you watch it just for the thing. Oh, this is supposed to be a one-offy thing, so you think
Well, yeah,
you watch
Yeah.
it just for posterity, in case there was something you quite enjoyed, rather.
yeah.
And if you didn't, you missed it.
I mean, I can
Yeah.
understand that there will be people that will more. Like my mate now, he hates them. He says, his thing. He says we should have done the same as the French did and guillotined them all years ago. And but as long as you respect everybody's decision and think whatever you want to think, and don't take the mick out of somebody else because they don't agree with you.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're I mean, it's to me, to be born, just because you're born somewhere and you're born into a family with £1 million and whatever, and a heritage of being a queen. I mean, what the fuck is that? That's not logical. That's not equal. That's not
The other side of the coin then is you've got people in this country that never worked a day in their life because of the benefit system, and as they say, they feel, well, why do I need to work? Because I can earn just as much on benefits and sitting on my arse all day.
Yeah.
There's got to be wrong with the system somewhere.
If you're on a dole and you're living like that, and you're living a bit like a royal, isn't it? Because they always sitting in their arse doing fuck all.
I suppose it's working out the pros and cons of. I know it's such a big subject, but the thing of the good for the economy, tourism, and the industry that sort of is around, and you think sort of, where did it all get paid from? Did it come out of the coffers of the government? Or did Charles say, "Oh, send me the bill afterwards"?
Yeah.
They were actually talking about the crown. I can't remember whether that was on. Perhaps it was on Friday. I can't remember what the name of the diamond is. The name, the diamond that's right in the front of the crown.
Something of India.
It's the what?
Something of India. What's it called?
It begins with a C, And they said that diamond alone is priceless, let alone whatever else is in the crown.
India? No.
Yeah, because the crown that they use it's really hundreds of years old, isn't it? And apparently the one that was for the ceremony Well, that wasn't the one then that he kind of walked out with. That was not so much a replica, but another one equally valuable.
Right.
That's the one he gets to keep as a souvenir, is it? Is it
Not the
out of
sacred,
common?
the
Yeah.
sacred.
Yeah.
Yeah, I visited the House of Commons or whatever it was, wherever he was. Or Westminster Abbey was in, I suppose.
The Tower of London, isn't it? They got that.
Oh, I tell you what, looking at the mural behind you, Con, I
Yeah.
think I saw Howard walking along the prom as I was going down to play croquet this afternoon, say midday. I'm sure it was Howard. He's just over your right shoulder, left shoulder.
Yeah,
And I think he was walking along the prom there. Looked a bit like him. I'm not so
He's
sure.
up and down there taking photos, actually, isn't he?
Well, he goes down Langland and takes photographs, but I'm not sure about the Swansea Bay prom, just past Norton, between Norton and Mumbles,
Oh, yeah.
He was walking along there, whatever. Johnny. So yeah, I was watching the messenger thing going back and forth after we finished last week, and the thing and and it was funny because somebody said, "Does Johnny see these messages?" And at some stage or other, did he say, "Yep"? And Biscuit, you were obviously kind of like, "Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. I
did I
mean,
put my foot in it?" Even though he was showing great respect for his art and thinking about his health as well. We were all very thing on that,
yeah.
So has it come up any further with the guy? Forget. There's two names. One is Simon, and what's the other one's name?
Gary, is it Gary? I don't know.
Yeah.
Gary, yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
mean, they both.
we're in negotiations with the two of them at the moment.
Uh-huh.
Mike isn't here, so I'm
No.
getting more clear. And Kipper isn't here as well, because I had to hand over my bit of it to Kipper because it meant phoning from being in contact, phoning from France.
Yeah.
So no, I can't afford it.
The state of play with that Simon is that he's asked me if I want to make arrangements to meet up. We're going away next Thursday for a week.
Yeah.
So I'm back on the 18th, and he's asked me if I wanted to put something in the diary for when I get back.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gone back to him and said yes. I'm easy whether it's weekends, weekdays, but I prefer to avoid a Wednesday.
Yeah.
He's given prices, so he's within our budget. I know he's got to be cleared to work for Swansea Council because he's done work in Singleton Park.
Uh-huh.
So it's just waiting to see when he says that he can meet us.
Yeah.
And same thing with Kipper, if he's speaking to this Gary boy.
Yeah.
Because the Gary bloke, he's on Facebook, his pages.
Simon is as well. If you look at his web,
I didn't know Simon was. Simon's got his own website.
He's got his own website, yeah. So is Wild Boar as well, But
I didn't know that. What I found was Facebook, but
we're going
So
to.
which is Wild Boar? Is that Gary or Simon?
that's Gary. That's
Right.
Gary. Gary's business is actually his own name. Simon, I think it's Simon Hedger, I think his name is. He's based in Carmarthen. And from what I can see, I think Gary is based in Estragunlais.
Uh-huh.
So it's a pity the Kipper isn't here to find out whether, if he's within our budget as well, it's like any business, isn't it? We can get both of them to, what can you do? What can you build? What's your fees? And when can you do it by?
Yeah. Because who was the images? Very nice, kind of intricate looking stuff. And there were examples of his work. I forget what they were now. They were kind of dark wood, with light to shiny bits. The images that were put up. Or what was it now? There was one of a guy. Was it a football player or a rugby player? Who was that?
Yeah, that is Simon, I think, who did those ones.
I'm with you. Yeah.
But yeah, but Gary guy, he does some real. Oh, it might have been Gary actually. It wasn't a woman, was it, sitting on a bench?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Gary did. There's apparently, and we've been there. I don't know if you've ever been to Sandringham. We went to Sandringham a couple of years ago, and there must be some sort of annual carving thing in Sandringham Estate, and that whether it's an annual thing or not, I don't know. But obviously, Gary competes in that. How he gets on, I don't know. But they both look very talented blokes, you know, and
Competent.
more than capable of producing what we want to produce.
Yeah.
It's
That's
just
right, isn't it?
yeah, it's just meeting up with them, same as you do if you were having an extension on your house. You're not going to get one builder.
Yeah.
You're going to get a couple of builders. So
Yeah.
but I mean, obviously, if Gary comes back and his price is astronomical, you know, and that we can't afford it, well then